The point is that audiences don't hate strong female characters. What they hate are narcissists wearing those characters as a mask. And this narcissism starts in the writer's room, where these talentless, ideologically obsessed hacks have no business being. They're just writing self-insert fan fiction, which usually involves them putting their socio-political opponents in their place through the power of feminist perfection. It's not just boring, it's insulting. It's like they're just nagging at us through a screen. Classic badasses like Sarah Connor and Ellen Ripley were written by people who respected the character more than they loved themselves. Modern ones are written by people who obsess over themselves more than they respect the character. As a result, you get a lecture in a wig instead of a hero in a struggle. Audiences aren't rejecting strong women. What they're rejecting is characters that exist solely to deliver someone else's TED Talk. And because of their selfishness and lack of talent, they ruined it for all the other women that are actually fun and entertaining to watch, including one Eve Macaro. I don't know how long this girl boss fatigue is going to last, but I do know that it's going to last a lot longer if Hollywood doesn't learn this simple lesson. And we all know how good Hollywood is at learning lessons.
I think the problem with people like this is that they are so stupid that they have no idea how stupid they are.
A large portion of all of this nonsense, really, is stemming from the, how should I put it? This ideology, this feminism, right? This wouldn't have started if DC and James Gunn decided to not play around with Supergirl and just have a good Supergirl movie where she's a superhero and she's learning off the back of Superman. She humbles herself and then she goes and saves the day. Not herself, she goes and saves the day. Essentially. Easier said than done, right? If only they just decided to focus on the script properly and then focus on the narrative and, you know, the morals and themes, that sort of thing, which I was hoping for, right? He got it semi-right with Superman, sort of, kind of. The hopeful American way thing wasn't exactly there, but it was decent enough to watch. I'm gonna get into all of this. Goodness gracious, to a lot of ground to cover. One thing I just asked is just buckle up, grab a snack and some popcorn and soda, because we're gonna be here for a bit. So to start off, I want to start off with the fact that Supergirl was written by someone who only had one screen credit, maybe a short film, which was on 2019. I haven't seen it. I have no idea what it's about. I'm not interested in it at all anymore because Supergirl is terrible. Hang on one second. You hired someone who has no screen credit whatsoever besides one obscure thing that they've done. And then you brought them on to a $200 million plus production. And you expected them to do exactly what other more experienced directors or writers have done. We have an issue. We have a problem. That problem is experience. About as much as it plagues me with being inexperienced and not in writing, because I've written scripts before, plenty of scripts. Fortunately, I've written more scripts than her. Aside from that, you know, it's like hiring a director, first-time director, or second-time director, or producer, or anyone like that of the sort, first-time, second-time actor in a major role. We have some issues with that, right? If I can't make up a production out of thin air, aside from paying people and unions and whatnot, how is she able to do that? Because it's Hollywood, right? It's Hollywood. She must have been at the parties long enough, 6 or 7 years. Shut up. And Connections, connections, connections. That's the whole rant in itself. I really don't like how we're starting off here. I really don't. Speaking of which, during production, they've had like 10 different versions of Supergirl tested with 10 different audiences. They did 10 different test audiences screenings. 10 different versions of the same movie. Each of them were trash, essentially. The test audience didn't like it. They didn't like those versions. So try another one. They didn't like that one. So try another one. They didn't like that one. So try again. They didn't like that one. All the meanwhile, they were still trying to figure out the, what is this called? Needle drop soundtrack thing. They had 43 songs for a needle drop. I guess it's something in which a triumphant moment happens in a movie and they needle drop a song in for no reason whatsoever, for an uplifting thing. I don't know. You have amoralization going on here in this movie. I don't think that'll lighten up the mood or make people more patient with you at the moment. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. 90s, what was it? 56% on Rotten Tomatoes, and then a 77% on for audience score. That's not good. You know what that means? That actually means more than enough audiences thought the movie was a 6 and below. That's what that means. More than enough critics thought that the movie was a 5 and below. Or a 4 and below, right? And of course, you're on Rotten Tomatoes. You'll find those. This movie is flawed, but I enjoyed it. And then there's a 5-star thing. It's the most confusing thing ever. It happens. Yes, I think it was a bot down there in those. But there's not enough bots to outplay or out-review the amount of people who actually saw it and said, no, this is trash. This is garbage. This is absolutely garbage. They rejected this. To be honest with you, I haven't seen a film on YouTube. And, we've been through the Marvels, Thunderbolts, been through the Eternals. I don't remember a single consistent against this movie on YouTube. It was just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, except for one. Of course, there's always one, but I'm going to get to him in just a second. Hold your horses. They all were saying the same thing. I said this in a previous video. Go back and look. They're all saying the same thing. Jeremy Johns is saying the same thing as Moist Critical. Moist Critical is saying the same thing as Clownfish TV, saying the same thing as, insert YouTuber. John Campia saying the same thing. Same thing. Critical Drinker saying the same thing. This movie is garbage. This movie is trash. Right? Now I'm going to move into Angry Joe. I'm disappointed. I don't know if he's seeing this, if he's able to see this. I'm very disappointed in you. Right? First of all, you went into this saying, please support the film. Please go ahead and watch the film and this sort of thing. And I understand. I get it. You've been in this for a long, long time. You love DC. He's a Superman fanboy, essentially. I'm not going to hold that against him. I'm not. To be honest with you, I probably would have done the same thing if I wasn't very good at reading the room. But in any case, I am good at reading the room. And I'm going to say that, dude, you are out of it. You're out of it. Especially coming from someone who's a long-time subscriber. I enjoy your reviews of movies and video games. You hold it down. You absolutely do. This is the best. You're the best example of being a critic. And while I don't do that type of movie review and game review over here, I have plenty of source stuff to do. plenty of, over here is my Nintendo stuff. I have 2 games that I could most definitely pull that off if I wanted to. But I decided to focus on filmmaking and local documentaries of the sort. So, but I absolutely appreciate what you've done over the years. I'm not coming at you as a sort of random hater. Absolutely not. But here's my problem with this instance, right? You begged people to watch the movie. You watched it yourself. Then you admitted that it was trash. Now you're attacking people on X who are saying that it's trash, right? Whatever happened to, if it's trash, it's trash. I will tell you right up front. If it's good, it's good. I will tell you right up front in my review, right? Whatever happened to that, and then it's an end all be all, and that's it. You're going about your day. You don't see Jeremy Johns or Tyrone Magnus after they post their reviews, or Clownfish TV after they post their reviews. They're not going to argue with people defending the movie at the same time trashing it. It doesn't make any sense. And the more you reply and repost and reply and repost, it just gives me a headache, dude. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Say for instance, if it was one of my movies, right? And it's flawed, okay. I can accept that and move on. And accept the criticism. Okay, I can do that as a person, okay? And I will take the blame fully, because I don't want it to be on the crew. It's squarely on my fault. Something happened, I didn't think about it narratively, whatever the case. Then seeing all this discourse around my film would break my heart even the more. Because now I have incentivized people to be divided rather than unified. You have incentivized people. That's the issue with this ideology nonsense, with this feminism nonsense, is that it incentivizes people to be radical, to be against. This is film. This is movies. You should be concerned about the 1,000 Heroes of 1,000 Faces. You should be more concerned about saving the cat, right? You should be more concerned about those narratives. And it seems like it never came across on the writing table. And I can't 100% put this on Angry Joe. I can't do that, right? It's just that it's like a knee-jerk reaction with him. Well, yeah, of course. You defended a trash movie, and then you realized it was trash because they gave you absolutely nothing to strengthen your argument for it, right? That's a bad movie in itself. But it's the actions right afterwards that just ruins your reputation. Like, I'm sorry. There's nothing else to... It's just, I'm going to say it cut and dry. You can give me all the excuses that you want. You can repost 1,000 messages as you want. Just go ahead and block people. It's not going to help you at all. It's just going to make you look bad. You are the sore thumb in this situation. You are the sticking out one. And I don't care how you feel about anti-woke people. My thing is, don't give them anything to complain about. So don't make it woke. Don't make it woke. Do not give your enemy or your opposition side ammo and a gun to shoot you in the foot. Right? Why isn't these woke movies the best movies ever made? Why aren't they? Because they have no concern about characters. They have no concern about storytelling. Like I said, Hero of 1,000 Faces. They have no concern about saving the cat. They have no concern about the character test. What is the character test for Supergirl? She's dirty. She's radical. She's unhappy for some reason. She's mad with the universe. She goes planet hopping, but it seems like she's planet hopping for saving herself rather than saving the planets or the solar system thingy, which is confusing well enough. You have a green sun and a yellow sun. That makes sense. Might as well just throw in a pulsar while you're at it, or a magnetar while you're at it. Have it a triple system, because this whole thing makes no sense whatsoever. Just throw the truck and the kitchen and the dog and the cow and the whole barn right at the screen and have people pay for it. You see, I'm more annoyed with these filmmakers nowadays rather than Angry Joe. Yes, he's in the background, but I can just ignore him. Just ignore him. I'm more annoyed and offended by these morons over here. Why is that the case? Because they're making bad movies on purpose, like I said in the previous video. Not only that, they're trying to demoralize people. I went back and watched Spider-Man 2. And at the end of the movie, Tobey Maguire gives this fantastic quote. And I'm paraphrasing, but he's saying, saving the world doesn't mean you get to satisfy yourself. Saving the world means you have to sacrifice. You have to go steady. And even sacrificing your dreams. That's a really cool philosophy to teach kids, that if you want to do things serious in the world, you're going to have to, if you want to change the world, you're going to have to give up some things. You're going to have to be at the ready to give up some things. That's a really cool philosophy. What is the core philosophy of Supergirl? Saving yourself. Narcissism, right? How is that inspiring? And it's a superhero movie. It's more offensive that it's a superhero movie pretending to be moralizing when it's not. It's wearing the face of a female and it's trying to preach to the audience, only care about yourself. Well, that's how we get into a terrible society. Remember what I said about incentivizing radicalism? That's what this movie is. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. And I cannot figure it out for the life of them. They cannot. I honestly, if I was anywhere near the facility of those people, I would lecture them about as much as they're trying to lecture the audience. You know, they know they'll probably kick me out, but they can still hear me. I can scream, I can shout loud enough. You know, it's like you hired a nobody. James Gunn, you hired a nobody to write a movie that makes the character look even worse. Well done. Congratulations. If you wanted to divide people, you did that well enough. You divided Angry Joe's fandom, but you united people against you. You're only 2 movies in. You're only 2 movies in. What's the excuse? What's the excuse? Marvel is 40 movies in now, right? You're doing worse than the Eternals. You're doing worse than the Marvels. You're doing worse than Captain Marvel. You're doing worse than all these other movies critically and box office. Why? They dropped lower than the projections a week ago. Hey, I'm going to need you to run these numbers again, because something isn't right with this 75 million pre-ticket sales. And you take a look at the fandom event. There's only 1 seating here reserved. There's only 1 seating here. I need you to run those numbers again. Another day passed. I need you to run those numbers again. Okay? 63 million opening event. Alright, fine. Whatever. Another day passes. I need you to run those numbers again. Okay? 50 million, or about 59 million opening. I need you to run those numbers again. 43 million opening. I need you to run those numbers one more time. 39 million opening. This movie opened to 38 million. It's a $200 million plus production. Pathetic. Pathetic. Right? This is what happened. This is the fruit of dividing people, because you wanted to stick out with your ideology. That's what you wanted to do. You wanted to emasculate men, which, hang on one second. Who's a bigger fan of female superheroes than men? Who? Right? Yet you have girlfriends who drag men to the movie theaters because to pay to watch for romance movies. Okay, but it's the men who bring their families sometimes, or maybe their own girlfriends. They have a date night, and then they watch something like Supergirl, and they come out like saying that, yeah, that's a B minus cinema score. That's a B minus at best. So who's the audience? Who's the audience? I can go back and watch Wonder Woman here on my 4K monitor, and I'll have just as much enjoyment watching it than, probably the same enjoyment watching it than I did a couple years back watching it in theaters. Why? Because it's a good movie, and it didn't emasculate or lecture men. And it had really kind of sort of like a buddy cop sort of thing, but and a little bit of romance in there. But it was a good movie, nonetheless. Is Supergirl a good movie? No. The major thing that's killing it right now is bad word of mouth. And you don't have enough butts and seats to match or outdo Superman just a year ago. So really, there's no one else to bear the blame but DC, James Gunn. Like I said in the previous video, I feel like I'm a broken record repeating this ad nauseum. When you hire inexperienced people, but they have the right politics, prepare for a major bomb to happen. And it's just going to keep happening over and over and over and over again. Hey, look, this is what you want. This is what you want. I don't want to hear any complaints, any cries or woes or moans. Yeah, whichever direction you came from, go back. Go back. I'm not going to hear it. I'm just going to block you out. I'm not going to hear it. Why? Why? Because I want good movies. And I know they're difficult to do. But I still want good movies. I'm writing over here. I'm working on some stuff. I'm writing over here. While the money isn't there, it doesn't mean I can't write to keep myself at the ready for something to come into fruition. Crowdfunding, for example. Right? I have to keep my eyes open to crowdfunding. But this is a unmitigated disaster. And I'm hearing that DC is confused about why this movie isn't performing. Why are you confused? How are you confused? Have you been so lazy and taken aback with James Gunn and this DCU universe that doesn't feel like DC at all? This is not the DC of early 2000s. This is not the DC of the 90s comics. This is not that those type of iterations of those characters. It's not. Batman Brave and Bold. Where is it? Where is it? The Batman Part 2. Where is it? Where is it? Right? You announced this 3 years ago. And you've gone through so many changes already. Well done. Well done. So, this is the last, hopefully, this will be the last time when I talk about Supergirl and all the drama surrounding it until something major happens. I just had to get this off my chest. You know, I get really, really annoyed when a legacy YouTuber like Angry Joe, and I'll say this again, I do respect the guy. I do. Even though we're at odds ideologically. Just stop posting, dude. Stop arguing with people. You've been in this sphere long enough. You've been in the space long enough. You made your millions. What is there to argue about? Why are we going on about this nonsense with defending Hollywood when you trash most of their movies? And I'm going to talk about that in a next video, right? I'm going to talk about that. All this arguing. This is the fruits of feminism. This is what it brings. Division. That's what it does. That's the best thing it's ever done. Bring division. Argue and have people threatening each other over a movie and insulting each other over a movie, calling each other incels. It's just a whole bunch of noise. Really, it's just a whole bunch of noise. So, I expect there to be nonsense in the comment section. If you feel that way, congratulations. You're a human and you have emotions, but instead of dealing with your emotions, you need to come over here talking trash. But aside from that, my beautiful subscribers, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to leave a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. I'll see you later.